As a professional, you feel like you just know it all. And I love when I get humbled. And that's exactly what happened here. I was experimenting and coming up with some ideas for tutorials for you guys, and I stumbled upon something that just shook my freaking belief system. And I'm like, is this for real? And I even ran it by a couple of my colorist friends to kind of figure out what's really going on, and I didn't really get a definitive answer. So what we're going to be discovering here is something that, like I said, we're going to be kind of doing that together and figuring out something that I thought was so amazing is actually pretty detrimental. And then what can you do instead? For those that don't know me, my name is Qazi. I've worked with brands like ADIDAS, Amazon Prime, Universal Studios, and I make no bullshit, straightforward color grading tutorials so you can work with your dream clients. If you like content that I put out, then please do me a favor. So go ahead, smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the bell so you could be notified about my future videos. Let's jump right in. This footage is shot on Red Dragon, so we're converting it from red color science to DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Wide Gamut to Rec. 709. Okay, pretty standard stuff. Obviously, if I go through and show you this shot, it's just too warm. It's not balanced at all. So the first way to do it, let's just do it the beginner way, would be to find something white in the frame. So it's this shirt right here. And then I can just go in my primaries, click on this little eyedropper and go right here and just click on it. And boom, magic. So to know if your image is balanced or not, look at the vector scope, and if it's in the middle, it's pretty good. This is a beginner level white balancing, not good at all, and you will know why. So let's do a few things. So let's go ahead and grab this still, and also let's save this version. Now I'm going to reset that. And then a better way to do it is knowing how to actually balance this through your own eyes and using your scopes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my HDR palette. I'm going to use the global offset. So this works very much like if this change was done in camera. So I'm going to go right here, use my global offset, and I'm going to start moving it around. Now, one thing I want to do is I still want to respect the environment. So the entire place is lit with candlelight, so I'm going to respect that. So I want to keep just a hint of like warmth, okay? I don't want to take that out. And this is a very good tip for you guys to know that, a lot of people, when they learn white balance and color correcting, they just want to like overdo it. Don't overdo it. Like respect the environment. So now that we have an image like this, you see like how our blues are still staying put and our black points are proper. Okay, so that's why this is way more superior than the old traditional way of using your primaries offset. So I'm gonna grab my still and I'm going to add a new version. And now let's reset that and use the most advanced technique that everybody talks about. And of course, I'm talking about chromatic adaptation. Basically, if you look at the definition, this is a scientific way of manipulating color temperature inside Resolve. And it's supposed to be the most accurate representation of that. So what's happening here is we got our source and we got our target. So we know that our source is completely off. This is just shot at a wrong color temperature. So if the lights are warm and if it was lit with warm lights, to get it perfectly balanced, we have to first click right here and change it to color temperature. And then we have to manually put in 3200 Kelvin, because 3200 Kelvin is what you would set your camera to when you're shooting with warm lights. So if I were to click right here and just type in 3200, get ready to have your mind blown. And before I even hit enter, I just want to show you why I'm leaving my target set to D65, because this is our white point when you're working in Rec. 709. And we're going to be exporting this in 709, so we want to keep our white point to D65. We don't want to mess with that. And now if I hit enter, look what happens. Voila. I mean, this is unreal. And this is what everybody says. This is scientifically proven. Math is math. You can't challenge that. Plug in the numbers, hit enter, and you're done. It's so crisp. It's so clean. It is amazing. And the colors that are coming out are just out of this world, right? Wrong. And you're going to find out why that is. So let's just go right here, first of all. And let me show you what is happening right here. how this is like so ugly. So one way to fix that is going in your color space transform right here. And what we can do is under gamut mapping method, I can just say saturation compression and voila, fixed. That's great. But is it though? If I go and look at this and we come to something like that, you see that little breakage that's happening that wasn't happening before. So if I get rid of this chromatic adaptation, you can see that this was perfect. But then after, we got that little thing going on. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, another way to get rid of it would be to double dip the gamut mapping method. And then even on the output, we can do saturation compression. And then it gets rid of it. But now look at how muted this looks compared to the HDR method, which is so crisp and clean. Look at this. And plus, like all this green gunk that we're getting, that just doesn't look right. Because if I go here and turn it before and after, it was never this green yellow. So then one way to fix it is in our tint and then add some magenta. But see, it's not as simple as that. Because if I go back and do this, yes, sure, the ground looks a little bit better. So our floors are looking better. But at the same time, this inherent like greenish yellow is just in there. It's embedded. And then another thing that I want you to pay attention to is when we come around and we park it here, look at what's happening in the vector scope to my purples. Like, look at this. How this is absolutely not what it's supposed to be. Because if I turn this off, it should be going all the way, right? It shouldn't be restricted. Like this completely changed. And this has nothing to do with color temperature, because if I go right here and show you what we got with the HDR method, like look at how nice my magenta is. And I mean, just look at it in the colorized waveform. So keep your eye right here. This is after, this is before. I mean, what just happened? And this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. This is dismal. So now one thing that we can do right now, I want to be fair to our experiment, is let's go here. And if I go right here and show you what we got going on. So right now with our HDR, look at how beautiful this is, that I didn't even have to turn on gamut mapping on either of these. And we're still getting such a clean result compared to what we had to do here. So now just remember, if you're not an advanced user, and if you're not comfortable with all of these things, and if you just saw a video, somebody talking about like how chromatic adaptation is the new big thing, that's why I always tell people that don't just jump on the first complicated video that you see and think that this is the way. Because if you don't really know your way around Resolve, and if you don't do all the things that I did to suppress this problem, your images are gonna look like shit. And not to mention, this is just one shot. Now imagine if you have a 1500 shot movie that you're working on. This is a game of whack-a-mole. You are setting yourself up for failure. You do not ever want to do that. And before we keep going, I want you to start your year strong. 50% off for a limited time only on Freelance Colorist and Qazi's Toolkit bundle. QT, without a question, is Resolve's best look development tool to get high-end looks in minutes. And in my experience, speed will bring you more clients and quality will keep them loyal. And if you want to go from zero to grading like a pro, then look no further. Join Freelance Colorist. We have over 9,000 members using these products and getting killer results. So now it's your turn. Click the link in the description to claim this offer. Let's get back to the video. And now, if we go back to this and we look at what's happening here, chromatic adaptation, and then this is our HDR method. Guys, it is alarming how bad this is. So I'm going to save this and we're going to create a new version. So now what I want to do is the method that I've been sharing with you guys, which is linear gamma. So I'm going to right click here, go under gamma and change it to linear, and then Luma Mix, I'm going to turn it to 0. And the reason why I'm using linear to compare it with the HDR palette is because a lot of people think it's the same exact thing. So let's just put it to test and find out. This is not necessarily a 100% scientific test. We're going to just eyeball it and get it really, really close. And then that's where you will be able to see the difference between the two. And I think that's a more realistic test anyways. I'm going to go here and choose my HDR palette and then pop that open. And then let's just get close, something like this. But the one thing that I want to do first before I forget is I want to go back to none and none. So we want to do that, right? And now let's go to linear. And I want to just get it a closer match. Let's just see. So I feel like this is pretty close. So now if I just come out of it and we look at this. So the beautiful thing about linear, as you can see, like look at it right here. It's like how well balanced it is. It just brought the red down, lifted the blues perfectly, and kept all the colors as they're supposed to be. So now I'm just going to match it with HDR palette. So this is HDR palette, and then this is our linear. Honestly, I love the skin tones with linear. So if I come close and if I do before, so this is HDR palette, they just seem a little thin, and then this is your linear. And it just belongs. Same thing with the flooring. It looks a lot better. With red, it looks film-like deeper. Okay, with linear. Linear is just more grounded with all of it. And I like it. Like, you know, if I actually punch in and show you right here, this is HDR palette. This is linear. This just has more juice. It has more color. It has more punch. Let's go here. This is HDR palette. This is linear. Okay. And you can see like right here, if I just really get in there, this is HDR palette, this is linear. It's handling it even better. Like, look at this. It's giving us more information. I mean, you're looking at it on YouTube with compression. I don't know what you're really seeing, but I am seeing a lot more detail right here. And if you see the same thing, then drop a comment below. Let me know that I'm not crazy. So linear, in my estimation then, is a lot better. But now, the one thing that I see with linear right here, this is not good. So we're getting that. So then I'm going to go under my gamut. I'm going to turn on saturation. And now, if I match it, so this right here is our chromatic adaptation. This right here is our HDR. And then this is our linear. So what if I go and turn on this right here? So we basically have all of our versions. Let's just go here and look at all of our versions. I don't know how helpful it's going to be because honestly, I think it's just going to be more confusing than helpful, but let's just make it full screen. Let's get rid of that and then go and kind of see what's happening. And I'll just commentate through it. So this is our amateur white balance. This is our HDR palette. This is our linear. And then this is our chromatic adaptation. Okay. And honestly, again, another thing that I love about linear, not only the skin looks the best, also like this warmth that we're getting. Remember how close we matched it that we couldn't even tell the difference, but then it has its own colors that are coming through that are just different than what you would get through HDR. So if I park right here and look at it, we can clearly see that this just has more depth. Like, look at how, like, this looks clean, right? Like, I mean, the white looks like really white with like 3200 Kelvin, but like the inherent green that came in is just not pretty. Like, look at the floors right here. Look at the floors. The one thing that's singular in all of these three shots, the floors. And then honestly, like the floors look pretty good in the amateur version, but the amateur version just looks like crap, the rest of it, because it's just like really nasty. Like it will bring in a lot of greens and a lot of like teals in the shadows that just makes it contaminated. And you can even tell the difference. Like look at the boot right here. Look at the boot right here, the boot right here, and the boot right here. So this has more blue. So this is okay. This is much better. This is a lot cleaner. This is really good. But then the blacks are more grounded in linear compared to HDR. And then look at the boot right here. So this is the kind of crummy nature that you would get from just doing it one click, white balance, the beginner way. Okay, so I really, really like this. Like we can tell a lot here. So a lot of the personality in your image will come from different color temperature in your shot, right? So like how this amateur version just made the white like too white, whereas this looks kind of cool, chromatic adaptation, and we can control if we want it less or more. Like right now we set it to 3200, we can go to 38 and make it a little bit warmer. But if you actually look at the linear version and HDR palette version, there's something really interesting happening. So like you see like how it's keeping the lamp warmth in there, because usually the bulb is never going to be like 5600 Kelvin in a lamp. Usually it's going to be what's called like a standard bright white. You can Google that, and I think it's around 4200, 4400 Kelvin, and it would look similar to this. Okay, so now I'm not gonna just like make some shit up. Like, I mean, these two are pretty close, but I'll tell you right now, this blue right here looks way better than this right here. This just looks sort of like washed out. And same thing is happening here. There's more color depth than I'm seeing here than it is over here. Okay, let's just keep going. And then the biggest difference that you will notice is right here. Like, what is happening with chromatic adaptation? It just like choked our colors so much and just completely made it something different than what it is. And then we had the most information, as I showed you when we punched in this version. Our skin looks the best here. And then overall, this just has the most separation and it looks the most mature. Let's keep going. Another thing that you will notice is like, see like how in HDR palette, it just kind of starts blowing out a little bit. Whereas with the linear, it's just holding so much saturation and meat in the image. Look at what's happening with chromatic adaptation. I mean, come on. This is absolutely bananas. And then like, look at what's happening right here with our beginner version, which is not horrible, but this is so impressive. And then let's read this really quick. So, I mean, what are these colors, right? Like, it's just coming out of nowhere. So like, this also looks so horrible. This looks okay, but crummy. HDR palette doesn't look bad, but sort of washed out. Whereas when you look at linear, it's just holding on to that color. Like, it just makes it look and feel so HDR. I mean, I'm saying HDR. I mean, this is like, but like truly like an HDR image, if you will. And then if we go and park it somewhere around here and we focus on this area right here, I love the actual warmth. This is what I would see with my own eyes. 1000% I'm confident. This is a little bit more toward magenta. This just, again, looks very amateurish, like, you know, conversion. And then this is washed out again. This just looks bad because remember, we had to do so much in our CST just to make this proper. Whereas like here, we just had to barely do anything and we just got such an amazing image. Now, the mature part about balancing your image this way is that once you set up your pipeline like this, rest assured, 1500 shots, 2500 shots, your stuff is gonna fucking look epic. And if you do it the wrong way just because you watched a video and somebody talked about something you never heard of before and you think that is the right way to do it, you just saw what we witnessed before your eyes. So when you're using linear, one thing I would change is I would change this to saturation compression, and then that's it. Set it and forget it. Then just use your linear process. If you don't know what this linear process is, watch this video right here. So this was pretty crazy, right? That's why nothing beats practice, because we can read theories all day long. And that's why I'm not a huge believer in all the technical mumbo jumbo. I mean, you gotta know it if you're a professional colorist. So I understand everything that I need to understand, but I'm just more of a hands-on person for this exact reason, what we discovered here. Because if you read Resolve's definition, nothing beats chromatic adaptation, and it should be working perfectly fine. But in this instance, and what we're dealing with, it was absolutely the worst choice. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, hit the bell, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, fam.